For over 25 years ago, a legendary game, Heroes of Might and Magic 3 was released. A game that still has active player base. A game that has been part of many people's childhood. A game that has stood the test of time on the throne of greatness. There have been sequels, but those didn't have the same spark. And there has not been a spiritual successor that quite recaptured that lightning in a bottle. The magic of the original, that perfect mix of exploration, strategy, fantasy, has remained just out of reach. But now, with the Heroes of Might and Magic Olden Era demo, an official prequel, a direct return to the series' roots, we have to ask, is this another cash grab, attempting to extract value out of Heroes 3's success? I have poured dozens of hours into this demo in a quest for an answer. So in this video, we are going to break it all down and find out if this is the true successor for Heroes 3, the one it deserves. Let's jump right into it. The million-dollar question every Heroes 3 veteran is asked. Does it feel right? I'm thrilled to say the answer is a massive yes. The moment you load up the adventure map, that core gameplay loop is instantly familiar. You're recruiting heroes, gathering resources, building your castle, and venturing out to claim the land. The rhythm is there. That addictive cycle of explore, expand, and exterminate that made the original a classic is perfectly intact. And it isn't just the mechanics, but also the atmosphere feels right. The art style is a beautiful evolution. It's a crisp, modern take on the classic look. But it skillfully avoids the cartoony vibe that has hurt so many other modern strategy games. It feels like a respectful update, not a complete rewrite. And the music. Oh, the music is incredible, but there is way too little of it included in the demo. Something I hope the release of the early access will fix. With the legendary Paul Anthony Romero returning, backed by the Heroes Orchestra music, it really gives me goosebumps. However, nostalgia trip is not enough. A true successor has to evolve. What Olden Era brings to the table is a ton of quality of life improvements, which most already exists in fan-made Horn of the Abyss expansion of Heroes 3, as well as new mechanics that modernize the experience without betraying its spirit. The hero progression system is much deeper. Skills are still being offered at random, but you now have 3 options to choose from, which gives more consistency. Additionally, each skill has sub-skills, which opens the door for more diverse and specialized hero builds. Faction laws are another brilliant addition, giving you faction-wide perks to enhance the gameplay and adding another strategic layer to your team. Even combat has seen some smart upgrades. Most of the units now have active ability, which adds a fresh tactical dimension to battles that would sometimes feel a little too straightforward in the original. These aren't just minor tweaks, they're thoughtful changes that smooth out some of Heroes 3's rougher edges, creating a more engaging and strategically rich experience. What do you think about these changes? Are there any mechanics you're excited about? Or are you worried they have gone too far? Let me know in the comments below. Maybe the most exciting part of the demo is the introduction of a brand new faction, the Schism. This isn't just a reskin of an old favorite. The Schisms are a completely new creation, and they are unlike anything we have seen in the Heroes universe before. Drawing from the deeper, more obscure lore of Might and Magic, the Schisms are a faction of altered elves who channel power from an abyssal Lovecraftian realm. Their gameplay is totally unique. Their main mechanic, Abyssal Communion, grows their army size temporarily. For each battle, and with each battle they win, Abyssal Communion increases, providing even more temporary units for the next battle. Maximum Abyssal Communion is of course capped, and at the beginning of each turn, current Abyssal Communion will be halved. playing as the Schism feels fresh and strategic. They are a high momentum faction that rewards you for playing aggressive. And their abilities are absolutely devastating in the right hands. Their inclusion in the demo is a bold and necessary move from the developer. It shows they aren't afraid to innovate and expand the world of Heroes. The Schism faction alone proves the creative vision behind Olden Era is something special. Okay, let's ground ourselves for a minute. No game is perfect, especially not a demo. I have been holding back bunches of criticism, especially since full early access is launching on April 30th, 2026, and there is no point on nitpicking things that will almost certainly be fixed in early access for full release. The art style has been a point of debate in the community. While I personally like it, some feel it looks a bit too clean, or like a mobile, missing the fairy tale grit of the Heroes tree. This is totally subjective, of course. The tone screens have been a particular focus, with some fans feeling they don't have the same atmospheric detail as their Heroes tree counterpart. It's a valid concern for a community that cherishes the aesthetic of the Heroes tree. For a true Heroes tree purist, these are all red flags. But of course, that doesn't matter, because what truly matters is whether or not the game will be good for those who like the series and want a good sequel. Which gets us back to the original question: is Olden Era the Heroes 3 successor we deserve? Based on this incredibly promising demo, my answer is an absolute, definitive yes. What the team at Unfrozen has managed to do is remarkable. They have captured that hard-to-define feel of Heroes 3 while pushing its mechanics forward for a new generation. They clearly understand what made the original a legend and have built on that foundation. Smart, thoughtful design. The core gameplay is as addictive as it ever was. The new mechanics add layers of strategy, and a faction as creative as the Schisms signals a bold vision for the future. If you ever were a fan of Heroes 3, you owe it to yourself to play this demo. And if you're as excited as I am for the full release, make sure to subscribe for more Olden Era coverage as we get closer to launch. Heroes is back! Thank you for watching. Please leave a rating on the video, I would appreciate that. And as always, I will see you in the next video.